ささやくよ。甘えるようにショパンのバラードが奏でられていく。
I told you I'd have to kill you. One and all, welcome. I am Nick Muniz. This is Next Nonfiction. Today on the show, we have got 100 crazy facts. Fun fact, Australia's biggest export is the boomerang. It's also the biggest import. You ready to have your mind blown into a million pieces, only to be blown into a million more? Little known fact, Captain Hook bought his hook from a second-hand store. Sandy Hook. This book contains the most insane, unbelievable facts on the face of planet Earth. This book, if you are ready to read it, will make you think again. Well, are you prepared? Think again. Did you know, fact, crows used to drink at the Crow Bar? I whiffed. All right, let's start this damn thing. The beginnings are always a little bit slow, but we're going to warm up. Always the last chapter is about sex. Chapter 1, in the benigging. If you're reading this, you're likely the kind of person who enjoys pondering some very obscure facts about the world. Maybe you've wondered how some seemingly unmedical things, such as alligator dung, become medical prescriptions. Fact number 1, alligator dung is medicine! What did Fyodor Dostoevsky tell us in The Crocodile? It's better to be engulfed and swallowed alive by a crocodile than spend time with your family? Poop is medicine. Fact number 2. Or perhaps you've wondered how marriage became the institution that it is today. Maybe you've considered how cryptocurrency began or how it works. Facts. Facts cannot be argued with, okay? Humans are monogamous creatures. Forever and always. Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. Fact! Indisputable! Here's some more facts. We're going to start with music. Music, bro. Music. The sound of the stars. Bro, did you know that if you took a teaspoon within the orbit of a neutron star, it would weigh as much as a truck? Fact. The harmonica is the world's top-selling instrument with about 3 million free wind instruments sold globally each year. 3 million harmonicas sold a year. Investors, possibly you. Fact number 4. There's well over 100 facts today. We're not going to count them out. The popular instrument known as the Jew's harp is neither a harp nor associated with Jewish people. It originated in 3rd century BCE China and was a plucking harp. You've seen it. Dong, dong, dong. Jews? They got a lot of shit named after them. You ever catch a Jew fish? You pull it onto the bank of the river, and then it tries to sell you a mortgage? Goddamn Jew harp. The world's smallest violin is a real thing. Venezuelan luthier and violist Baltazar Monica provided this tiny 3-inch violin in 2014. World's smallest violin! Bruh, we gotta play that for these liberals and their crocodile tears. Goddamn, they played the smallest violin in Venezuela when the president got captured. Music facts, musical facts. The Aztecs of Mexico loved music and human sacrifice, mixing the two in elaborate rituals. Death whistles were musical instruments carved out of 3 distinct substances into the shape of a human skull. These were used by priests during human sacrifices. So the question, can anything be turned into an instrument? I guess so. Your goddamn skull could. Your lungs could. Fish, when they're done playing on vacuum cleaners and washing machines, maybe they'll play a goddamn guitar. Goddamn liberal crocodile tears on the world's smallest violin. Late Nirvana's frontman Kurt Cobain's acoustic electric guitar in 1959 Martin. It sold for $6.1 million at an auction in 2020, making it the most expensive guitar ever sold. $6 million for Kurt Cobain's guitar. Still pieces of brain matter intact.
Another one.
Adolf Hitler. Okay, so we're switching pace a little bit here. We're still in chapter 1. The Benigging. We go from a song species, a musical fun people, to dictatorship. The art of speech. Dictators. Adolf Hitler was a vegetarian in his later years, and near the end of his life, he ate only mashed potatoes and clear broth. The reason for the dictator's dietary choices remain a mystery, which we have dispelled in the book Blitz, okay? You know why they called him the H-Man? Because Hitler was on fucking heroin. They called it Eucadol. He was the H-Man. His doctor, Dr. Morel, he put him on every 4 hours at the end of the life. He was on an IV, and they had horse uterus and bull sperm. That's Dr. Rick Toffin right there. Dr. Morel, Hitler's feel-good? This motherfucker wasn't a vegetarian. Let me shoot myself with some horse vagina. The H-Man. In 1974, Spanish artist Salvador Dali gave the Romanian dictatorship Nicolae Cusier a scepter that he had made. Salvador Dali, original troll, remember that book? The dictator treasured the gift, but most people at the time thought, and still do, that the clever artist was trolling the clueless autocrat, Romania. Okay? Dali, for his senior project, he filled up the entire art studio with paper mache. His goddamn teacher couldn't even make it into the building. Romania. Soviet dictatorship's Joseph Stalin was as brutal as they get. He was also very paranoid. He was so paranoid that he had his scientists examine people's feces, believing he could determine their loyalty from it. During a visit by Mao Zedong, he had scientists examine Mao's feces to judge what mood he was in. Jerry, Joseph Stalin's manifesting poop. He's stealing your poop. Which, fact, poop has trace amounts of gold in it. Remember, what was it, Anna Lemke's book? They had the Soviet KGB fuck machine. Guy invented a record player with a fleshlight on it. Guy, we read some mild books on this fucking show. And now we know that Joseph Stalin was collecting people's poop. Poop science! Let's go to chapter 2. Currency. About that cheddar. About that cheddar, girl. Paper money was invented in China's Song dynasty in the 11th century. Common era. Because it is widespread used at the time, no samples of Song paper ever existed today. Because dictation took over. Ever hear the term economy of language? This is what he talks about the whole chapter. Keep that in mind, right? Although the U.S. Federal Reserve was started by the government and it is a country's tax-exempt central bank, its 12 bank branches have been cited as independent, privately owned, and locally controlled corporations by the courts. The Federal Reserve is privately owned? Wait. In God we trust. In Bellel, it says on the money we trust. In God we trust. But the Federal Reserve note isn't federal, nor is it actually a reserve note. It's probably worth something. We're going double dip today, so I'm feeling good. Another fact about maybe the Federal Reserve, which actually doesn't reserve anything, it prints things. But anyway, the deben was the unit ancient Egyptians used for measuring weight. Although not a true currency, the deben was a standardized measure of precious metal. I looked it up. The deben, it was like 29 grams, which is basically 1 ounce. You know, those Egyptians, they were smoking that za. Goddamn chemics. Let me take a minute. That was enough. The inventor developed of Bitcoin is believed to be a Japanese man named Satoshi Nakamoto. Why are you putting in this in your book about facts? Believed to be? It's a fact. Satoshi Nakamoto. A thaler is one of the large silver coins minted in the states and territories of the Holy Roman Empire. the thaler. Habsburg monarchies during the early modern period, the thaler was the size of a silver coin, had a diameter of 40 millimeters, and weighed about 25 to 30 grams. They were trading big ounces in Rome. The Roman pede was 5,280 miles. Some more facts. Inflation was a problem for the Roman Empire. The debasement of the silver denarius coin and the other factors led to an incredible inflation rate of 15,000%. Will the Federal Reserve prevent that? It happened in Rome. When the debt ceiling was created by the U.S. Congress in 1917, it was $11.5 billion. Now, it is $31 trillion. Bruh, if somebody owed me $31 trillion, I would be pretty pissed. In November 2008, Zimbabwe's economy hit 6.5 sextillion% inflation. The year-over-year inflation reached astounding 89.7% sextillion inflation, leading to the abandonment of currency. But the Federal Reserve has my money, and it's safe. That's right, girl. I'm a Zimbabwean trillionaire. I got trillions of dollars in Zimbabwe, and they're always gonna be worth that much. Financial analyst and TV personality Jim Cramer, Mad Money, buy! Check out Stay Mad for Life over on the Patreon. Jim Cramer proclaimed in February 2000 that there were 10 stocks everybody should own. By 2009, all of those were either out of business or a fraction of 2,000% undervalued. Mad Money Cramer, no! Stay mad for life. Mad Money Cramer. You could do 10 pump and dumps a week on live TV, and you still don't get shadow banned. Chapter 3. Language. Take a sip of agua. At 28 letters, the word anti-disestablishmentarianism is thought by many to be the longest, non-contrived, and non-technical word in the English language. It's not contrived at all. Non-disciplinarianism. It's about 20 letters, okay? It won't even fit on a Scrabble board. And it's not contrived. It's a real word. What else? These fucking... You say one academic word, anti-disestablishmentarianism, and now they give you a free speaking tour and a lifetime supply of benzodiazepines.
It would be so awesome.
Bro, someone needs to teach academics brevity. It doesn't make you smart that you put 50 words together. Anti-disciplinarianism. I'm smart. 1,000 more facts coming right up. A polyglot is a multilingual person. Many polyglots grow up in families, countries where multiple languages are common, while many autodidacts are self-taught. You know, Europeans, they're all communistic polyglots. These gluttons, they just have sex with everybody. Grammar, rhetoric, and logic were the three ancient arts of Greek classical discourse. Grammar involves the mechanics of language, including syntax, morphology, and phonology. Rhetoric is the art of effective and persuasive speaking and writing. Logic is a system or set of principle underlying arrangements of elements. So it's a good thing that AI is writing all of our essays. Another fact coming up. Did you see that coming? British and American English spelling bees began before 1776. This was when Noah Webster published the first dictionary. And did you notice they changed a word in 2020? You changed a dictionary. Punctuation only gradually made its way into writing. Many believe the Moabite stone is dated to 840 BC in Jordan. This was the first text to use punctuation. That guy was a legend. First guy to drop a question mark? Hey, yo, this guy's inquisitive. First guy to drop a fucking exclamation point? Helicopter, helicopter. First punctuation, the Moabite stone. You'll win in Jeopardy this week. The Braille system of writing was invented by French Louis Braille in 1824. Braille lost his vision when he was a child of 3 years, but developed a system for writing when he was a teen. I feel like someone should have been on this a little bit sooner. There's situations in which sign language comes in handy. You're in a crowded bar or a fucking stadium. God forbid someone's actually deaf and we have to communicate with them. A language revival in his attempt to stop the decline of a skibbity language, or bring back an extinct one. Israeli support of Hebrew is the only example of a dead language successfully revived in the modern era. Hebrew. A palindrome is a word spelt the same forward and backwards, like madam or top. You can also have a palindrome sentence like, Sir, I'm Iris. Bro, I went in on this. This shit is pretty fun. Watch out. If you're like tripping right now, man, I might send you into cyberspace. These are all palindromes. Draw, O coward. Drab as a fool, aloof as a bard. Drab as a fool, aloof as a bard. I am a regal, a German I am. Lived on decaf, faced no devil. Lived on decaf, faced no devil. Spelled backwards, spells the same fucking thing. Lonely Tylenol. Lonely Tylenol. And now I have autism. Madam, I'm Adam. Fucking duality, man. Madam, I'm Adam. It's a fucking palindrome. It's almost like this language is magic. Anti-disestablishmentarianism! Bro, I'm dropping palindromes in my next rap on the other channel. What else we got here? The Coptic language is directly descended from the ancient Egyptian language, once spoken by millions of Egyptians, as their primary language has been largely replaced by Arabic. They were trying to Coptic that ounce. Goddamn Egyptians. English writer William Shakespeare modernized the English language. One way he did that was by adding new words to it. Over 1,700 by some estimates. Bruh. And I thought that was the decline of a language, bro. Shakespeare was red pill doomcore, bro. Shakespeare was on that 6-7 yacht. Okay, the Oxford English Dictionary adds about 4,000 new words a year. That means it adds a new word every hour. No cap. Chapter 4, Pets. Facts about pets. The once common dog named Fido came from Rome. The name is derived from the word fidelis, which means loyal. Dogs are considered one of the most intelligent animals, but their degree of intelligence varies by breed. The Border Collie often tops the list as the most intelligent, while Beagles and Basset Hounds tend to be a little bit on the slow side. If you look a Basset Hound in the eyes, ain't nothing going on back there. They got 10 lips packed and their fucking eyes are drooping like they're high. They'll still rat you out at the airport. There's a common misconception that dogs don't sweat. Dogs have merocrine sweat glands, which are located on their paws. Fact! Next time some suit at the fucking dog park tries to tell you dogs don't sweat. Actually, according to my calculations. The ancient Egyptians had two words for dog, EU and chesum. Egyptologists believe EU may have been onomatopoeic, referring to a dog's bark. Ew! And chesum was a breed. Chesum? That's weird, because I have that chestnut dog store I always tell you about. One Christmas, we're going down the street, it's an icy street, and a fucking truck runs over our neighbor's dog named Chestnut. So what do we sing? Chestnut's roasting on an open fire. Chestnut got run over by a reindeer.
Joe Biden.
Chesum, the word for dog in Greek. It's a good dog name. Lassie was the most popular dog for the baby boomer generation, and there was at least a dozen different Lassies, all males that appeared in the film. Lassie was a dude. These boomers will eat up anything. An average dog's hearing is 4 times better than a human, but the part of their brain devoted to their sense of smell is 40 times larger than humans. And that Basset Hound nose smoking up all of your weed at the airport. An average dog's hearing, I just said that, new fact. Law enforcement around the world has used dog to sniff out bombs. That's what they're doing. How many bombs have the dogs caught? And in recent years, there's also been trained to smell contraband and cell phones in prison. fucking narcs. Dogs will smell out your cell phone. Nothing better than telling the prison guard to go fuck himself. Law enforcement around the world had used dogs. Sorry. Dogs can interbreed with other members of their genus, including jackals. The Sulamov dog is a jackal-dog hybrid that was first made in Russia in the 1970s. Goddamn Soviet scientists. They made jackals. Hellhounds! A greyhound can run 35 miles per hour for 7 miles, while a cheetah can run 70 miles an hour for 30 seconds. 0.1 for greyhounds. Fatal dog attacks are rare, with only 46 being recorded in the U.S. in 2020. Pit bulls accounted for 72%. It would be racially profiling for me to say that pit bulls commit most of the crimes, but it's fact. On average, a dog can exert 15 to 20 pounds of pressure per square inch of a jaw, but breeds such as the pit bull can exert up to 450 pounds per square inch. Your baby soft skull never stood a chance.
Like you farted.
Chapter 5, Inventions. Let's go. Got a good amount of chapters today, and I might have to do a camera switch before it slimes out. Inventions. The cyclomer was an amphibious bike that was invented in Paris in 1932. It had 4 air-filled floats to keep it up and was propelled by 2 fan blades that were attached to spokes. They invented a floating bike. Amsterdam, you guys need to get enough of your truffles and your brothels and create some bikes. You see this one, a guy in California? He created a sail for his skateboard. I don't think he's paying for gas. Today there's an app for everything. There's even a tampon app that lets women know when it's time to change things around. Hey Meta, give me an alert when I get toxic shock syndrome. Chester Buck Weimer's claim to fame is being the inventor of the world's first odor-proof underwear. The Colorado inventor invented this passion for fart-proof underwear in 1998. But why hasn't this guy been on Shark Tank? Fart-proof underwear? Fucking Lori could sell this to all of her old QVC viewers. Fart-proof undies. Coming soon. The hamster shredder may sound awful, but it's actually useful. It's their hamster cage with a paper shredder on top to provide bedding for the hamster. I was hoping it would be an actual hamster shredder. Chinese inventor Lu Ban, 500 BC, has been credited for inventing the wooden bird. It's not quite known how it worked, but it's stated that it stayed in the air for 3 days. A wooden bird achieved perpetual motion. Ironing and coffee seems to go together, right? That was the idea behind the Ironus, the clothes iron coffee mug combo that didn't catch on. So you're doing your ironing, and you press the button, and it sprays hot coffee onto your shirt. More inventions. In 1949, the radio hat started selling in American stores. Billed as the Man from Mars radio hat, it was simply portable radios that was built into a plastic safari helmet. This was in 1949. So you throw that shit on during the Korean War, start blasting some doo-wop, and then blow up the 33rd parallel. Jap Hwaman invented the anti-grape tampon. This was in South Africa in 2000 and was marketed by 2005. The device inserted like a tampon had a spring-activated blade. Hor, 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 hor. I'm not sure why, but there have been several patents awarded for butt-kicking machines in the U.S. The brothers Edmund and Ulysses de Molin received a patent for their imitating device in 1908. Hey, Meta, can you kick my boss's ass for me? The flask tie was invented for those who can't make it to happy hour. It looks like a regular corporate tie, but beneath the stripes, there's a pouch for your booze. Meta, add flask tie to cart. Chapter 6, Politics. Some indisputable facts about politics. John Stonehouse was a British Labour and Cooperative Party politician who embezzled a bunch of money and faked his death in Miami, Florida in 1974. He was found to be very alive in Australia 2 weeks later, sent back to the UK, but only served 3 years in prison for fraud. As a politician, you could fake your death, go live on the Gold Coast, and then come back in 3 years and do no jail time. Bread and butter as a politician, fake your death. That didn't work. The Russian word for blackmail is kompromat. During the Cold War, the KGB blackmailed so many Western politicians that kompromat made its way into the English language. Former professional wrestler and full-time vampire Jonathan the Impaler Sharkey was the Vampires, Witches, and Pagans Party started in 2005, the advocates for the Vampire Political Recognition Party. Warren G. Harding is often regarded as the most corrupt U.S. president in history. It's amazing because the 29th president only served 2 years before dying in office. Well, I mean, 2 years and he was corrupt? In 2014, Malaysian politician Bung Mokhtar Radin tweeted, "Long live Hitler," after Germany defeated Brazil 7-1 in the World Cup. German officials didn't appreciate the support. Southeast Asia, little dictators. 2014, Malaysian police, I said that. The Polish Beer Lovers Party was established in 1990 in Warsaw. Just as the Iron Curtain was coming down, it actually won 16 seats in Poland's lower house before being dissolved in 1993. Bring it back. I'll move to Poland and be president of the beer party. 9 American towns have elected dogs as mayors. Cat lovers can rest easy, though. Towns like Talkeetee, Alaska, elected an honorary feline mayor who served 20 years from 1997 to 2017. It's a very strenuous workload to be a politician. When South Carolina Congressman Mark Stanford went missing for a week in 2009, people were alarmed. When he finally surfaced, he was hiking the Appalachian Trail, he said, but it was later revealed that he was in Argentina with a mistress. You fake your death, you go to Buenos Aires, you fuck a mistress. Come back, collect money from the taxpayers. Adolf Lou Hitler Ragnarok was a politician from India. When asked about his name, Marak said that his parents liked the name. Tired of political corruption? 100,000 residents of Sao Paulo, Brazil voted for a black female rhinoceros named Caracero for city council. Although she won more votes, the election officials ruled it ineligible. You could get more votes and it's still ineligible. It's democracy. American author Robert Anton Wilson formed the Guns and Dopes Party during California's 203 gubernatorial election. Porngate is the name of the one strangest scandal in Indian politics. The scandal involved 2 members of the Karakatan State Cabinet watching porn on a smartphone when the legislatures were in session, February 2012. Got them Indians watching porn. I told you the story about Akshay watching porn in health class. Step 7, gambling. Some facts. Depend is a brand of undergarments for those with incontinence. But in 2014, they began targeting the casino crowd. The Player's Advantage line comes with a package prominently showing you a royal flush. Society has not fallen. This is natural. We wear diapers when we go out in public and gamble. I'm Pickle Rick! Go for a weekend in Vegas, you fucking saddle up at a slot machine, some bitch with a diaper next to you. That's life. Although dice games preceded the Romans were the first people to bet on dice. Romans called double ones snake eyes, or a dog throw. Not so fidelis now. 2-Up is a traditional Australian gambling game. It involves throwing 2 coins in the air and guessing heads or tails. Might as well play fucking beer dice. 2008 story revealed that American households earning less than $13,000 a year spend 9% of their income on lottery tickets. Know another fact? Jeffrey Epstein won the lottery twice.
Today, I'll be talking about one.
The Royal Flush, all one suit, 10 through ace, is the best hand you could get in poker, but the odds of getting one are 650,000 to 1. The Maya of Central America often made their prisoners play the deadly ball game, which participates in the ball game. Gambling is illegal in most of China. The government does run 2 lotteries, the welfare lottery and the sports lottery, and casinos are still open to the ones in Western ruled cities. Hong Kong, Macau, go gamble the house. Roulette is a French word that means little wheel. Roulette is probably derived from the Italian game biri biri. Beer places base bet on numbers around the board. They also invented the tarot, okay? Italians, they love to fucking gamble. And just to do yourself a little bit of factual research, look up the odds on European roulette versus American roulette. If you play American roulette, you are retarded. Don't gamble. Find the edge, which exists. Edging! The New York-based company Sitman and Pitt invented the first gambling machine in 1891. Players inserted a nickel, pulled a lever, and watched the 5 spinning drums. The drums and payouts were based on poker. Fast forward 140 years, and you've got diaper gambling. Chapter 8. We got some tall tales. The oldest collection of published nursery rhymes in Tommy's Thumb's Songbook, published in 1774, the book contains such classics as London Bridge and Patty Cake. That's from the 1700s, that song. Yo, Patty Cake is a fucking banger. How come every time I come around my London Bridge? Patty Cake is one of the oldest surviving English nursery rhymes. The earliest known recorded version of the 1698 play, The Campaigners. Yo, Patty Cake needs a remix. My girl Patty, you know she got them cakes.
Smoke weed every day.
I know how to do this shit, man. Patty Cake. Popular American writer S.E. Hinton. His novels deal with teens and struggles. This is The Outsiders. Hinton was only 18 when he wrote that book. It's not a very good book, okay? A 12-year-old could read it. The children's game Duck, Duck, Goose is called Duck, Duck, Gray Duck in the state of Minnesota. It's Duck, Duck, Goose, motherfuckers. Minnesota, get with the program. Duck, Duck, Gray Duck. What the hell? Puss in Boots was originally an Italian fairy tale called Il gatto con gli sitavi. The original story inverted a cat extorting innocent villagers and tricking the princess into believing his master was a noble. Goddamn Puss in Boots. Italian bastard. Humpty Dumpty is usually portrayed as an egg in visual versions of the nursery rhyme, but the words never tell the tale. Some historians believe Humpty Dumpty was simply a device for riddling around breakable things. Others have suggested that Humpty Dumpty is King Richard III of England. He's supposed to have died in 1485. Okay, you never get into the bottom of Humpty Dumpty. Just watch the Puss in Boots movie. You know, Humpty Dumpty fights Puss in Boots in Sevilla, Spain, throws the egg off a bridge. That is mythology. The earliest documented mention of the name Mother Goose is dated to 1600, since she is associated with folk nursery rhymes. Oh, we know the Mother Goose, bro. Mother Goose got that patty cake.
What is the next step?
Many believe that the nursery rhyme Mary, Mary, quite contrary refers to Mary, Queen of Scots. Even more interesting, the silver bells and cockle shells may have referred to torture devices. No proof has ever been found. Fact! The nursery song rhyme Ba Ba Black Sheep was the first song to be digitally saved onto a computer. The record took place in 1952 in Manchester. Bro, 1952 they had iPods. Ba Ba Black Sheep was the first song, and then Skrillex remixed it in 1960. In 1600, Humpty Dumpty, back to this motherfucker, was the name of an alcoholic drink. By 1700s, it was slang for an egg-shaped person. You're never gonna figure out fucking Humpty Dumpty, all right? My girl Patty Cake, she got that little lamb. Got a couple more of these nursery rhymes. The nursery rhyme Mary Had a Little Lamb originated in the U.S. in the 1800s. The rhyme was first recorded by Thomas Edison's phonograph. Okay, the first song was Mary Had a Little Lamb. He was playing that shit on his dream machine while he was in limbo. One of the most popular Japanese fairy tales is Momotaro, or Peach Boy. In the story Momotaro, the boy was born in a peach and became a demon-fighting hero. James and the Giant Peach is manga! Roald Dahl, certified stealer of stories.
Yummers.
British children's book author. I just said that. No, we got another fact about Roald Dahl. That's a convenient thing. 1964, his novel, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, served as an RAF fighter pilot in World War II. That's right. You fucking bomb the Japanese, and then you steal their manga and turn it into Hollywood. Chapter 9, some urban myths. Many people in Central America believe in canine creatures known as El Cadillo. It's a creature that might be benevolent or malevolent. In such countries, El Cadillo is said to move more like a deer than a dog. In some versions of the story, the creature is also said to be dragging a chain that wraps around his neck. Cadejo means chain. What else? They got the puma, the giant puma down in Peru. In Lagarni, Wales, some locals think that a creature called the Engelstor holds the secrets of life and death. The inhabitants of the small village say the local church is haunted by the spirit of the Engelstor. Located on the grounds of the church, the oldest living tree in Wales is believed to have begun growing in the Bronze Age. Each year on Halloween, the 31st of July, Engelstor is said to, beneath the tree, announce the next member of the town who's going to die. Goddamn chestnut. She's going to get hit by a truck. I should have been listening to the trees. Could have saved her. One myth states that temporary tattoos for kids have been soaked in LSD. Usually the sticker is a blue star, although variations are common. Not documented cases have been reported. Fact! Fact! Me and my boys are tripping off them blue stars!
I'm SpongeBob.
One unhelpful urban myth is that typing PIN in your ATM card backwards will summon the police. Bro, I did this one once. Yo, there was some goons behind me, and I had to get out some money quick. So I typed my PIN in reverse, boop, 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 and the fucking police phase into existence like RoboCop.
Oh, cholera. Czy to Freddy Fazbear? Oh.
Type your PIN backwards into an ATM. It summons the police. One myth states, in 1959, a California dentist named William Shrine handed out laxative-laced candy for Halloween. Many believe this is the case that gave rise to the urban myth. There's fucking razors in your kids' candy. Because one guy in Hawaii put laxatives in the candy. You know, because the kids should have chemicals in their fucking stomach.
Call me expert.
This guy did something good. Give the kids some laxatives on Halloween. And maybe a razor blade. Legendary actor Charlie Chaplin allegedly entered a Chaplin look-alike contest and came in 20th. Allegedly. Fact. The rabbit-antelope hybrid, the jackalope, is a mystical animal associated with the state of South Dakota and Wyoming. The origins are unknown. Bruh, we know Terrence McKenna met the jackalope in hyperspace! In the early 1980s, gamers thought there was an arcade called Polybus, an arcade game that controlled players' minds. The myth is obviously combined with elements of CIA Black Ops and arcade craze of the era. Bro, it's a myth that video games can control your mind. But this was another fact. In 2023, the U.S. Army housed a Warzone tournament with 1,500 recruits. Video games don't control your mind. Fact! The activity of cow tipping is an urban myth. Cows frequently lay down on their side and get back up. Bazinga! In 2016, there was a rash of evil clown sightings throughout the U.S. and Canada, as well as 18 countries. Why the sightings began remains a mystery. Everybody talks about the glory years of 2016, and nobody mentions the rabid clowns. In 2016, just said that, before evil clown sightings were a thing in 1970. The residents of Fairfax County, Virginia, reported seeing an axe-wielding man in a bunny costume stalking the area. The bunny was never captured. We're on our final chapter, beauty. Some facts. On average, American women will spend about $15,000 during their life on beauty products. This includes about $4,000 on mascara, $2,000 on eyeshadows, $2,000 on lipstick. They do be looking sexy, though. You know, when they put that lipstick on those animals to test it, it'd be looking sexy.
Hello. And
Botox is actually a pretty toxic product. It produced a Bacterium colostrum botulinum, which can cause botulism. Well, at least my mom gave me botulism, and she can give that Gawk 9000. Mom wanted to look like a bimbo, and now you have botulism. The makeup worn by geisha women and kabuki actors in Japan is known as oshiru. The word is translated into English as white powder. Okay, so these fucking theater queens over in Japan can do whiteface. And I do blackface one time! I do blackface one time. Women who wear makeup have been stigmatized at different points in history. Perhaps the most famous example is of the Phoenician queen Jezebel, who described the Bible's 2 Kings, 1930, as having painted her face. Okay, Jezebel was the first one to do makeup. You ever know that? And now girls spend 15 grand a year on makeup. A lifetime. Jezebel, she led the king Ahab and much of Israel into Baal worship, building temples and altars. Kings 16:2. He erected an altar for Baal in the temple of Baal he built in Samaria. Thank you, Jezebel. The practice of foot binding, where a girl on woman's feet were broken and tightly bound in order to change their size and shape, was popular in China from the 10th century until 1912. The deformed feet were referred to as lotus feet. These fucking yellowheads were doing foot fetishes in the year 900. A Rubenesque body type refers to one, usually a woman, who is curvy. The term is derived from the painting of a Dutch painter, Peter Paul Rubens. Yeah, that's his name. He depicted curvy women. He's the first fucking chubby chaser. He painted big chicks. He's an Instagram curator, this guy. In the 1700s, powdered wigs were the fashion rage for men. People who wore them were among the elites in society. The first wigs were made of goat and horsehair. Because they were never properly washed, they smelled quite terrible and attracted lice. The combat of the unfortunate odor and unwanted parasites would have powder in their wigs. And then in 1795, they put a tax on powdered wigs, and it went out of fashion. Oh, how it ever went into fashion in the first place. I think they missed the mark with that one. I'll stand on that hill. It's like the Zoomers with the fucking Crocs. Okay, I just... They're going to look back at us in other times and say, okay, so everybody in the 2020s was special ed. Why the fuck are you wearing Crocs? Okay? They make you wear that shit in prison. Stop. It's the ugliest fucking shoe ever. Do whatever you want. In 1987, Venezuelan plastic surgeon Dr. Eduardo Krulig used the term lipoinjection for the first time. It involves putting fat into the body, usually the posterior, and has now been popularly called the Brazilian butt lift. Actually invented in Venezuela. Capture the president, we need to reverse engineer butt lifts.
Hello.
The first breast augmentation surgery was done in 1962 on a 29-year-old Houston, Texas woman named Timmy Jean Lindsay. She went from a B cup to a C cup. And she is a hero. Fact! We need to remember Timmy Jean Lindsay's name, the first lady to ever get a boob job. Fact! Forget Neil Armstrong, I'm staying with boobs.